Welcome to Experience Counts. I'm your host, PC Nguyen.
Let's begin now.
Experience Counts is a podcast covering the trends and innovations happening in experiential retail. By day, I'm a brand and innovation strategist and run my own consultancy called Totem. I help brands align their business strategies around emerging consumer behaviors to help them anticipate what's coming next. I'm bringing those insights to you. I'm speaking to the big movers and shakers in the retail industry, as well as up-and-comers, all from the Philadelphia area. Today's episode is all about retail centers and concepts, both traditional and non, and how landlords and developers are integrating retail experiences into their builds and tenant mix to help drive consumers to their properties. We actually split this episode into two parts because there were so many great insights. In this first part, we talk with Heather Crowell, the Senior Vice President at PREIT, and Erika Erb, who is the Marketing Director of PREIT's upcoming Fashion District project in the city. PREIT is a real estate investment trust company headquartered in Philly, and they operate retail spaces across the U.S.
We're really excited about that, and we were looking for a really unique opportunity to bring in the next wave of retail. Like, what's coming next? And for us to go and find that, it's one option, and we could probably, devote a lot of R&D to that. But we have, down the street from us, 1776, which is, they used to be Benjamin's Desk, and we were pursuing them then.
Hi, Heather. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you for having us.
So introduce PREIT in your role there.
Sure. So PREIT is a retail real estate company. We're a real estate investment trust, and we own about 22 properties, concentrated primarily in the Philly and DC markets. I oversee marketing, communications, investor relations, and even human resources. So I'm the SVP of strategy and communications.
Great. So it's a lot to oversee with all the properties that you guys are overseeing, right? There's a lot of stuff.
It is, but it's a really fun time.
So there's been a lot of talk in the media, as you know, paying attention to all the stuff that comes out there about how brick and mortar retailers are going through challenging times. And I think it's interesting because there are a lot of incredible success stories about retailers in brick and mortar spaces right now. So in a way, it's a little bit of a myth, this kind of prevailing like it's so difficult. Can you share your thoughts on that and how malls and non-traditional retail centers really actually have become like the innovative platform for retail?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we like to think of it as the traditional mall really is dead. And what is coming up in its place is this new diversified model where we're offering consumers the same conveniences that they can get on their laptops or iPads, bringing in uses that you used to have to go to 4 different shopping centers or shopping opportunities for. You can get, you can shop at the off-price models now, the Five Belows or the Home Goods or TJ Maxx. You can shop at a traditional department store. You can shop for fast fashion, which is going to be your latest trends. You can shop traditional retail. And in addition, we have dining and entertainment, and we even have gyms coming into our malls. So grocery, anything that you really need, you should be able to get in one place. Otherwise, you are competing against, the consumer dollar that is finite.
Can you talk about the strategy behind bringing some of those more like off-price, like Five Below? I know you guys have like a sort of like interesting way to bridge the online, offline consumer experience.
We found that there are a lot of ways for a consumer to buy products, and they can sit in their, pajamas on their laptop and order anything they want for the most part. But the thing that we're trying to do is replicate that experience of convenience and diverse product offerings. And the one thing that's really unique that the off-price purveyors offer is this finite amount of designer product at a discount. So people enjoy that hunting experience that I can only get this product for this price in this store today, right now. And tomorrow I want to come back and see what they have tomorrow, which is different.
It's like a hidden like deal or a serendipitous moment.
Right. I mean, it's almost like a flash sale every day of the week.
Yeah, and she's bringing that surprise and delight, which is like...
Right. And everybody loves a deal. I mean, since the 2008 recession, we've been, bargain hunters at our finest.
I mean, this is why Amazon is so huge right now. And this is why it's such a competitor to scaring very many people.
Right. But what they don't offer is the hunting experience, right? You can go on and you can search for whatever you want, but you don't have the opportunity to go in and say, oh, I also like this pair of shoes, or I like this bag, or I like these plates. And they kind of, the ability to package up what you're buying and make it into more of a holistic purchase.
Sure. Now, talk to me about the Cherry Hill project, because that's a very unique concept.
So at Cherry Hill, it's our flagship property, and it does really well. And we have a lot of high-end stores there, but we also have a lot of pop-ups coming in, and it's a great testing ground. We have a lot of retailers that it's their first to market shop is in Cherry Hill Mall, sometimes even before Philadelphia. So we're really excited about that. And we were looking for a really unique opportunity to bring in the next wave of retail, like what's coming next. And for us to go and find that, it's one option, and we could probably, devote a lot of R&D to that. But we have down the street from us 1776, which is, they used to be Benjamin's Desk, and we were pursuing them then. People talk about, kind of co-working in malls, if you will, but this is different. And this is an opportunity, of course, for people to set up shop and work, but they're bringing together retail-oriented startups. And the one thing that's really special about it is that they're going to have a shop for these startups to be able to sell their goods. And that's great for our consumers because they get that limited time opportunity to buy something that is local, potentially, that they've never seen before, that's different than what is sold in your kind of, traditional homogenous retail outlet. And they're also, their members are going to have this testing ground, if you will, in the shop, but also just observing consumer behavior. So think about, retail tech companies that are developing an app, and they want to just really see firsthand what the retail experience is like. How do customers engage with their smartphones while they're shopping? How do customers interact with product that's displayed? Is there an opportunity for some new technology or product out there that just by watching consumers in their habitat every day, you can learn about?
And I think it's really cool that the mall or traditional or a retail center has, kiosks. It has sort of these like touch points for, startups to play with the customer.
Yeah. And that's what our hope is. That's, some of these retail concepts are going to be born out of 1776, and that their next step is going to be on a cart or a kiosk, displaying their product in the mall after testing it maybe in the 1776 shop and learning a little bit more about their customer, that they're going to sort of graduate into a permanent location at the mall.
I think it's such a really cool idea. And 1776 are great because they're now an incubator space.
Yes.
Right. So they are really investing into kind of pushing these startups forward.
And they've really, they've learned a lot about, the retailers and the entrepreneurs in the retail space. And we think it's going to be a great partnership.
Now, can you share examples of how PREIT is focusing on offering experiences through its properties?
Sure. So it really runs the gamut. There's the pop-up experience, which we have several of throughout our portfolio, but we kind of look at it as a limited time only opportunity for people to get certain products. At Cherry Hill, we have Balsam Hill, which is an online, mostly holiday purveyor, holiday decor. And we also have 47 brand, which opened an Eagles pop-up shop. So all your Eagles gear, 47 brand, if you're not familiar, is team sportswear. And they opened an Eagles pop-up right in center court at Cherry Hill. So we have some really cool pop-ups like that, and we're really excited about things like that. We also, one of the things that is experiential about our properties, and this spans almost all of them, is bringing in dining and entertainment. The consumer today is much more social. They're coming to the mall as a social experience. Shopping is a social experience, but also, being able to go out to eat with their family and being able to go bowling or go to the movies or go to Legoland at Plymouth Meeting.
It's the convenience factor, like one-stop. Shop,
Yeah.
literally. You know?
Yeah.
How are the different target demographics or the lifestyles of the people who are, your property serve? How is that impacting the type of experiences you're offering?
So we view all of our malls, like I, sort of mentioned, as an opportunity to be differentiated, right? So we're in Philadelphia. We have a lot of retail opportunities that exist. We have online shopping. We have all of those venues for shopping. And we kind of look at, the demographics and the psychographics of all of our markets and the competition. In some cases, we're our own competition, but we look at the competition, we look at who our customer is, right? What they're inclined to do and spend money on. And then we kind of craft the retail mix and the entertainment mix around them. So for instance, Plymouth Meeting is over 50% of the tenancy is dining and entertainment.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you have Legoland, you have Dave & Buster's, you have a movie theater, you have 5 restaurants. The list kind of goes on. And what we're doing, even in the Macy's box there, we're bringing in 5 diverse tenants. The former Macy's box, it is. We're bringing in 5 diverse tenants. One is a gym. One is Burlington, Dick's Sporting Goods, Miller's Ale House, Michael's. So in and of itself, that's almost a shopping center. But understanding what our surroundings are and understanding who is in our community and what their interests are and what their needs are is what sort of drives that mix.
How are you doing that research? Well, how can retailers do that?
Sure. We use an array of tools, but we use formal demographics through Esri. We use Nielsen, Scarborough data to figure out what people are really interested in, and then there's psychographic data that comes along with that.
Yeah, and I read that Cherry Hill actually has a personal shopping service, right? Which is also not necessarily offered at any of the other ones because you saw a need.
Right. We saw a need. We saw a dedicated shopper through our digital loyalty program, our PREIT Perks program, that we had a really loyal shopper that was coming and spending an awful lot of money at the shopping center. And we just felt that, the more discerning shopper would love to have somebody boots on the ground every day to call you up and say, hey, Heather, I think you are going to love this.
And it obviously feels like a niche there that you have, right? Yeah. And people are responding to that.
Yeah,
very well.
yeah. It takes, like anything, it takes some time for adoption, but it's a great service, and we love that we can claim that we offer it.
Now, as a developer, you're providing already a platform, for retailers. And how are you seeing among the retailers themselves, what are they doing to differentiate themselves among the experiences that they're, offering to their customers?
Yeah, I think, retailers spent a long time, or at least a lot of the traditional mall retailers, growing by expanding their store count. And over time, they sort of may have lost touch with who they are. So the retailers that are winning are really figuring out who they authentically are. And we've got 2 generations of consumers in the millennial and the Gen Z consumer that are the millennials overwhelmingly favor social experiences. So for them to have an event in store like Lululemon does, yoga classes and it's something that really brings people together rather than just 40% off, that wins. And Gen Z favors purpose-driven brands. So anything that the retailers can do to really lay out their identity and really firm up their own identity. They may not have it right now, but they're firming it up and then speak to that consumer. Like, if you think about whether you agree with it or disagree with it, what Nike did over the summer, I think it was. that alienated some consumers, but it brought in the Gen Z consumer and the millennial consumer in droves.
Are you talking about the Colin Kaepernick? Yeah. With the campaign, which actually won, I think, an award.
Yeah.
For how I guess brave it was for a brand to attach itself to something so controversial and make a stand.
And they that's what they're saying, that the Gen Z consumer is favoring, that it's almost like that brand loyalty is coming back where it had sort of receded for years. So if the brand aligns themselves with something that the consumer feels strongly about, they're going to kind of be a consumer for life, I think.
Yeah. And it's interesting you brought up brand loyalty because, it's not only just a physical loyalty program. There's other ways that we're seeing it played out now in this space.
Yeah.
Now, what trends are emerging consumer behaviors? And this is like one of my favorite questions because I study trends. But what are some of those that you're seeing in the retail space that you think will make a big impact on how people are experiencing?
I think, some of the things that are really becoming front and center in our space is, we talked about pop-ups a little bit, which is that unique, limited quantity offering and experience that people feel like they have to get out. And they're going to get something different, right? It's not just a sale that's short term. It's I'm going to get a product that I can't necessarily access on a daily basis. And then there's, the buy online, pick up in store or click and collect model where over this, about 2 weeks ago, we had the Thanksgiving holiday weekend, Black Friday. And, there were a lot of interesting stats that came from it. Retailers have been investing in their technology for years now, and it's finally bearing some fruit, I think. 27% of the people that shopped over Thanksgiving weekend used the click and collect model where they ordered products online and they jumped into the store to pick them up. And 64% of those people made an additional purchase. So, the retailer engaging with the consumer through email or social media is getting them to place the order. And when they come in, they're making an additional purchase, which is a huge win for the retailer. And then that multi-channel shopper that is engaging both digitally and in store outspent the single channel shopper by almost $100. It's over that weekend.
It's incredible because you multiply that by how many people are shopping during that weekend.
And there were stats about Thanksgiving Day was the highest online shopping day comparing Thanksgiving over Thanksgiving, which is fine. And it's great because a lot of those people were picking up their product in store.
Yeah.
And they were making an additional purchase. So again, it's about discovery. So that consumer behavior model has changed so dramatically over the past 10 years, even the past 5 years, right? Where you can click on a product on Instagram and go straight to buy it. But you can also say, you know what? I want this tomorrow. I'm going to pick it up at Nordstrom at Cherry Hill. And then while you're there, you can get a pair of shoes that matches dress.
Yeah, and this year, talking about a lot of these big brands that have come up with concepts that are very much in line with, being complementary to what they offer online. Like I know Nordstrom has the Nordstrom Local, which was a really cool concept. And just for our listeners, that was about Nordstrom's actually putting like a little store that has like where you can pick up your online orders, but you can't actually shop there. You could get your clothes tailored right on the spot. I think you can get them. I don't remember the other features.
They had a lot of services. Like they had, I think you could get your nails done. Yeah. And you can get, a shave, I guess. Yeah. Or they had a lot of services. They were just finding other ways, again, to engage with their consumer.
I think it's a thing of being complementary to what you already offer somewhere else.
And then the digitally native brands, right? The brands that were born online that are now opening stores. Yeah. And, fortunately, they're being discerning about where they're opening stores. They're not opening 500 at a time, but they are opening stores now. And some of them, the more seasoned, like Bonobos and Warby Parker and Casper, they are opening a lot of stores because as they open one or two, they do see the benefits of being able to attract that consumer. And by the way, the marketing spend to attract a consumer that's already walking by is significantly less than targeting them online.
Yeah, they've already put the foundation down online. Like I think Everlane, I love Everlane. Yeah. So I think it's a great case. I always look at Everlane as being so successful, like opening their showroom, like doing it in mini steps, you know?
Right, pop-ups start. And that's something that for us as a company that's been around for a really long time, it took some time to get used to the fact that we need to be more flexible. We have to offer formats that somebody can just call us up on a Wednesday and say, we want to be open this weekend and just for this weekend. Mm-hmm. And that's something that takes some time to get your mind around. And for us, we're a smaller mall REIT than some of our peers, and we're a little bit more agile, or we like to think that we are. So, it's been something that has been a focus of ours for the past couple of years, is being flexible, being creative, really, and trying to find ways to get exciting brands and products into our properties, even if they are completely different means than we used to employ.
No, it's great because you get people through the door, and while they're experiencing that, shorter term retailer, it could be for, like you said, like that weekend, they're getting exposure to everything else as they're walking, through the mall.
And the retailer's learning that there was a lot of value in that brick and mortar presence, and, they may become a long-term tenant.
Yeah. So is there anything you want to promote that PREIT is doing? I know, of course, you're doing in September 2019. We spoke to your colleague Erika about Fashion District, which is huge for you guys.
That's really, Fashion District is really the biggest endeavor that we have underway right now. And, for us, it's, we're a Philadelphia company, so it was a really important project for us. And we really do think that the tenant mix there is the future of retailing, where you can spend an entire day and you don't just have to carry bags around.
Yeah, I really like that project because it's the tenant mix, but then you also have sort of the ancillary, experiences around it.
Yeah, and there's no critical mass for that in Philadelphia right now. Yeah. You can come in and you can do all of those things that are offered there, but you can't do it within a 3 or 4 block span. And it's not really, we don't have the compelling piece for the suburbanite to kind of come in and be able to do more than one thing. So we think that this will really be that spot.
Thanks for the chat today and letting us know, like, you know, how malls are really like this new place for retailers to play and for you guys to execute some cool kind of concepts.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and we look forward to sharing the Fashion District grand opening with you guys in the future.
Erika, thanks for dropping by today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me about your role at PREIT and how you play into the Fashion District project and what it is.
Perfect. Well, I am the Director of Marketing for Fashion District Philadelphia, and I'm basically responsible for all of the marketing strategy and brand development for when we roll out the property in the Philadelphia market. Fashion District Philadelphia is set to open in September 2019. And upon its opening, it will be the largest premier shopping, dining, and entertainment destination in downtown Philadelphia.
So pretty ambitious.
Very, very. Many of your listeners may actually remember that this is the former site of the gallery at Market East.
Okay, so there's going to be a totally new revamp of this.
Total revamp.
So when you guys were thinking about this, what did you guys observe that consumers specifically in Philly wanted in terms of experiences that helps you sort of like plan what you want to do here?
Well, I think there's a few things. You know, customers today are constantly looking for variety. So convenience and accessibility were always at the forefront of what Fashion District was going to bring to the table. So being 3 city blocks in the heart of Philadelphia, where accessible to all the major public transportation lines in the city, it's really a cohesive area that brings convenience and variety to the consumer. One other thing that we definitely noticed, and just from talking to Philadelphians and also being Philadelphians ourselves, is the need to have a movie theater. Now, Center City has not had an official Hollywood blockbuster type movie theater since 2002. So Fashion District Philadelphia will be the future home of an AMC Dine and Recline movie theater, which is definitely something that we noticed in market that was lacking in Philadelphia, which the consumers, anyone I talked to today, they're so excited about the movie theater. So we know it's going to be a home run.
So it's like needing really tapping into this need and building around that.
Yes.
I read something about that you guys have built this idea around 4 pillars, which I really wanted for you to expand on. I thought was really interesting. Can you talk about how that came to be and what are those 4 pillars?
Yeah, I would have to say that, the 4 pillars almost came about organically. When you're looking at, being in an urban environment and wanting to be so much more than what you might think of as your grandmother's mall, we really wanted to give the consumer that variety and create these experiences that were desirable. So that kind of started forming the whole style component, which is really bringing in not just flagship brands and designer outlets, but also bringing in full price retail and fast fashion retail, as well as adding in a dining component. Philly's a foodie town. So we wanted to make sure that we were, doing it justice and bringing in partners that could really take the dining experience to the next level when you're at Fashion District. Entertainment, as we mentioned, with the AMC movie theater, that really just fell into place, as well as adding in other entertainment options such as bowling and karaoke and really fun things for people to do, whether it's a Friday night or they're just swinging by after work looking for something fun to do. And then lastly was the arts and culture pillar. And that really, being in a city like Philadelphia, a city that really is authentic and cares about giving back, we wanted to make sure that at Fashion District, we were also doing our part and really giving back to the community and allowing the community to be a part of what we're doing as well.
Can you give an example of how customers can experience each of those pillars?
Sure. So on the style pillar, we've announced a range of diverse tenants from a flagship H&M to, a Levi's outlet, a Skechers outlet, Forever 21. Again, it's all about you being able to customize your experience. Maybe one day you want to come in and you want to get a designer handbag, so you're going to pop by Century 21. The next day you're looking for a gift for your cousin, so you're going to be able to pop over to H&M and go into the children's section. So it's, again, customizing that experience based on your need and desire at that time. On the dining front, we're really excited to announce City Winery, which will be the brand's 7th location coming to Philadelphia. They're also in New York, Boston, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, just to name a few. And they are a really cool concept that is totally unique to Philly. It's basically an urban winery, an intimate concert venue where you can get amazing cuisine, great wine, and watch a great performance right at your seat. So we're really excited to have City Winery coming on the dining front. So on the entertainment front, we've set out to have a 3rd floor dedicated entertainment zone. So along with the movie theater, we're also going to bring in another third-party vendor who will do bowling and karaoke and really make this an experience so that you can finally do, dinner and a movie in Philadelphia, or you can go, play bowling with your friends and then go see a film. So really tapping into those different experiences that people want in the city. On the arts and culture side, we have a few really great programs that are coming about. The first one being Uniquely Philly, which is a curated collection of Philly's best businesses, small businesses, for us to introduce them to Fashion District in almost an incubator style space. So the idea is to tap into local businesses and entrepreneurs that are interested in having a space at Fashion District where they'll receive flexible rent, mentoring, and marketing opportunities so that they can really allow their businesses to thrive. And then hopefully after they're successful, after the first year or two, they'll then move into a more permanent space at the district. And then we'll be able to bring in new local small businesses to incubate them in the Uniquely Philly space. We've teamed with the Enterprise Center to help us with doing the vetting of the business. And the whole idea behind this is to really make sure we're tapping into what makes Philadelphia great. And that's the people. So to really allow these small businesses and entrepreneurs to have an easy to run program for them to offer these really unique experiences and services that are really local to Philadelphia to just set us apart from what else is going on in the retail industry right now.
And what type of criteria you're looking for when you're filling out like the Uniquely Philly spots, like for retailers?
There was a select list of criteria that you had to meet. As I mentioned, we're teaming with the Enterprise Center, who's helping us with doing, vetting to ensure that we're doing local businesses, minority-owned, female-owned businesses. So there's different criteria varies depending on the business and the segment that you're coming in at.
Yeah, you're looking for a mix, obviously.
A mix, definitely. So whether it's, you're in beauty, you're in, you offer a service, what kind of product you have, you sell clothing, a nice mix so that we're really getting a flavor of Philadelphia in the space.
And I heard that parts of the arts and culture, you're actually going to bring in art,
yes.
and programming.
Yes.
What can you talk about that? Because I love that idea of integrating, those components, which you don't usually see when you go into a retail center,
You don't. And this is going to be an amazing opportunity for us to really create a program that appeals to Philadelphians and also tourists that are coming to visit the city. We partnered with the Philadelphia Redevelopment Authority in conjunction with their Percent for Art program to launch $1 million investment in commissioned public art. So we're talking about artists that are all museum quality who, they do murals, they do 3D sculptures. It's a well range of art that will be at the property that's free, that anyone can come and almost do their own self-guided art crawl to really learn and experience art right in the center of Philadelphia in an enclosed environment for them to experience.
Are these local artists? Are you commissioning them
We're doing both local artists and national artists will be in the exhibit.
And how about the events part?
On the event part, especially when it comes to the art, we are going to do a lot of different events to help promote the art program, whether it's an educational event or a meet and greet with the artist. We really want to build art into the fabric of what we're doing at Fashion District. In addition to the $1 million investment in public art, we also are going to be teaming with more local artists to do rotating exhibits so that there's always something new going on at the district to keep you coming back for more.
And how did you realize that this was something that such a unique concept to bring arts into these spaces. What kind of was the aha moment?
I would have to say, the aha moment definitely came with partnering with the city of Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a city of murals, and there's so much amazing art that's right at our fingertips.
And you talked about partnerships. Like, I know that there are some other partnerships that we can't talk about yet. Yeah. But I'd love to just talk just in general terms. How important is it in today's, retail world to actually be open to partnerships and collaborating to present something kind of unique to consumers?
I think it's so important. One of the most important things, actually, when you're dealing with marketing and branding. So something that I'm really excited about is being able to bring in nonprofit partners through our corporate philanthropy program. Fashion District has agreed and invested over $100,000 over a 3-year period so that we can partner with local nonprofits that all tie back to our 4 pillars of style, dining, entertainment, arts, and culture for them to really be a collaborative partner for us. So in addition to us giving them a monetary donation, we're going to allow them to use this awesome space that we have with this amazing location where we see over 22 million commuters annually, really tap into that energy and that vibrancy for us to then further promote their organization, their events, whether we're doing clothing drives or food drives or, fundraising opportunities to really form that partnership and make it come to life.
That's another unique part of it. I think that philanthropy, I haven't seen that before. Maybe that sets a new model for how...
I hope it does, because through this philanthropy program, we're really going to be able to identify nonprofit organizations that, meet the 4 pillars of what we're trying to represent and market to really give back to the community and, just promote good overall.
Yeah, because you see a lot of brands and entrepreneurs do it as part of their business and of their mission and their purpose. And it's really refreshing to see it done more on a bigger scale where you have access to more funds to be able to make even a bigger impact.
Definitely.
What have been your biggest speed bumps that you've had to deal with as you've been executing such a huge, ambitious project?
Mm-hmm. I would say that our biggest speed bump is actually yet to come. And that is going to be convincing Philadelphia to refer to Fashion District as Fashion District and not as the Gallery at Market East. I have fond memories of going to the gallery as a little girl with my mom, or even, in high school, taking the subway down to the gallery and going homecoming dress shopping with my friends. So the gallery is almost iconic in many ways in the Philadelphia market. So what we're doing is completely revamping from top to bottom this 3 city blocks that was known as the gallery. And even now when I meet people or I'm at a networking event, I'm explaining to them, Fashion District is going to be so great. I can't wait for everyone to experience it. And they look at me really confused. And then I have to say, it's the location of the former gallery. Oh, the gallery at Market East. So I would say that's going to be, from a marketing angle, our biggest hurdle. But I have full confidence that as soon as the doors open in September 2019, when people walk into this space and they see how modern and bright and airy, it is totally 100% renovated. And people are just going to be amazed at what they see. And I think they'll be calling it the district soon enough.
No, I love that you're so frank to bring that up, about the name and how people have associated with this, something that necessarily didn't work at the end. Because I would love to ask you, what didn't work then that you're bringing now to the table to make this successful?
Mm-hmm. As we all know, retail is constantly evolving. Consumer trends are changing, what people want, what people need, which is why Fashion District is going about it in a way of being more experiential, really tapping into the 4 pillars. But the one thing that I will say that does stick out for me, as remembering the gallery and, being a consumer there when I was younger,
sure,
is the gallery didn't really activate the street. You would walk along Market Street and there was only 1 or 2 entrances in and out. Fashion District is going to be completely different. We are activating both Market Street and Filbert Street. So these 3 city blocks that we span from 8th and Market to 11th and Market also go over to Filbert Street. So we'll be able to have multiple access and entrance points along Market Street, just as you would today be walking down Chestnut Street or Walnut Street. Whereas before, The gallery was a suburban mall just plunked right in the heart of the city. It really didn't work for the purpose of making it accessible and convenient for commuters, for people that just wanted to cut through. And as I mentioned, Filbert Street will also be activating, which was never done before. So that will be where we'll have dining options, outdoor dining. We'll be able to, get permits and close down the street and host festivals and events. So it's really going to bring this newfound vibrancy to an area that just was underdeveloped for many years.
And I think you're opening right at a time when, we're hearing so much about people moving into the cities again. So it makes sense to kind of have these places where people can gather, right?
Exactly. Convenience is going to be key. So really, when I talk to my friends, they're really excited about having one central location that's really convenient for you to be able to get your shopping done. You can grab a bite to eat. You can, meet your friends and go see a movie or go bowling. You can also experience free public art. And it's all in a central, convenient location, which, right now, Philadelphia has so many great options. It's such a hot city, and I'm so happy to be a part of this city. But I think what this is going to do is Fashion District is really going to, put us on the map of really having this premier shopping and entertainment destination right in the heart of the city, which we just don't have right now. Yeah, but it's coming.
But I think it really reflects Philly's growth in general. Just
100%.
Real estate, everything. The boom of restaurants here. People actually need disposable income to be able to go out. And so this is catering to the demand. We're seeing it with these retailers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very interesting time to be here and then see all this amazing stuff happening in Philly. What trends are you seeing out there that you think will inspire the work that you're doing in marketing?
I'd say one of the biggest trends is, and I touched upon it a little bit earlier, but it's variety. It's really offering a diverse mix of offerings that appeal to a diverse city. Really being able to allow the consumer to change their shopping habit based on what their need might be. We live in a society where everyone's very busy. Everyone's on their phone. You're coming and going. So, shopping and dining really needs to fit into the consumer's lifestyle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think what Fashion District is really tapping into is really, creating, over 800,000 square feet of a center that really is going to cater to a diverse clientele. And also a variety of offerings where people can customize their own experience. And that's what I'm so excited about being part of Philadelphia and being part of this project is to really, create something that the city can be proud of.
No, I'm really excited to see this come to fruition and take advantage of everything that it has there to offer. I'm sure everybody's waiting for this too. So good luck on the project.
Thank you.
And thank you for
so
coming
much.
and sharing all this stuff.
Thank you.
About the project.
I really appreciate it. So the idea is to tap into local businesses and entrepreneurs that are interested in having a space at Fashion District where they'll receive flexible rents, mentoring, and marketing opportunities so that they can really allow their businesses to thrive. And then hopefully after they're successful, after the first year or two, they'll then move into a more permanent space at the district. And then we'll be able to bring in new local small businesses.
Don't forget to listen to part 2 of this episode with Matt Stein of MSC Retail. It's available now and wherever you get your podcasts. Also, if you like this episode, make sure to subscribe to Experience Counts to get the newest episodes. Experience Counts is a production of the Enterprise Center's Grit Studios, which provides resources for minority entrepreneurs in Philly and the surrounding region. Also, go to the Enterprise Center's LinkedIn page so you don't miss out on announcements of our next episodes. And from there, you can share them with your friends and colleagues. See you next time.